This is the brand new OnePlus Watch 3, and before we get into it, let's give credit where credit is due because OnePlus really listened to its consumers and all of the things that we didn't like about the Watch 2 and came out guns blazing with some amazing new improvements on the Watch 3. We got smaller bezels, a brighter screen, better battery life, better health tracking, and most importantly, an actual functioning crown. So let's get into the design. The OnePlus Watch 3 will be available in two colors. We get a titanium silver and titanium black. I got the silver with the green band, and I gotta say, I'm really digging the look. Now, as far as size goes, it only comes in a 47mm option, which for me is okay, but if you do have smaller wrists, then this watch could definitely be a little bit much. Now, the watch case itself is made out of a stainless steel, and the watch bezel is made out of this nice titanium. And on the display, we get a sapphire crystal glass. So they are using some premium materials on here. I have bumped into a few walls and dropped it a couple times, but so far it looks like it's holding up really well. On the side, we also have two buttons. At the top, a rotating bezel, which can also click. And below that, we have an activity button to bring up your workouts. Now, the rubber strap is very comfortable. It's nice and thick, but at the same time, it has this very soft finish, and I haven't experienced any irritation wearing this watch so far. And I have had it on for about 2 days straight now. I've even slept with it on, and it honestly is very comfortable. It's also got 22mm lugs, which is a nice touch because if you want to accessorize this and maybe change the strap out for a different color, it's going to be really easy to find aftermarket straps, or if you just manage to damage it over time, again, it's going to be really easy to replace it. Now, OnePlus has made some really practical changes with the display that's going to make it a much better viewing experience with a lot of improvements over the Watch 2. We are getting a 1.5-inch LTPO AMOLED display that goes as low as 1 Hz for those great battery savings. It's also a 466 by 466 resolution, and we definitely have much smaller bezels on here than we did on the Watch 2, which is definitely a nice look. It makes the watch look much more premium. And one thing that's absolutely shocking to me is we have a peak brightness of 2200 nits, which is absolutely insane. Just to give you context, the Watch 2 had a peak brightness of, I believe, 500 or 600, and the iPhone 16 Pro Max has a peak resolution of 2000 nits. So this at 2200 nits is going to be absolutely incredible. If you're using this outside in broad daylight, you're not gonna have any problems seeing what's on your screen. Also, the raise to wake, touch to wake, and the cover to sleep functionality on here works pretty much perfectly. I haven't had any issues with it. It is just as responsive as you need it to be. Now, to use this watch, you are going to have to pair it with the oHealth app, which is not available for iPhone. So unfortunately, if you have an iPhone, you are not going to be able to pair this watch with your phone. On the homepage, you have all of your daily activities like your step count, your calories, you have your heart rate, your sleep monitoring, your stress data, and pretty much just everything to do with your well-being. The health tab pretty much pulls data from your workouts, how you're sleeping, and your vital signs to give you an overall health insight. The fitness tab will just show you all of your activity, and I really like the workout calendar down at the bottom to show you a historic view of all of your previous workouts and all of the goals that you hit. And on the devices tab, you can of course customize your watch, like your watch faces, the tiles on your watch, and the notification management, which I really like because you can do things like silence calls on your phone as long as you're wearing your watch, which is really nice because sometimes I don't want to answer the call because maybe it's a spam call. It just won't be continuously ringing until that person hangs up as long as I'm wearing my watch, and I'll see the call on here and my phone will just stay muted. I think that's an awesome feature. Now, when it comes to the customizability, I gotta give props to OnePlus here. They did an amazing job. You get 20 watch faces on the watch itself and even more in the companion app. And you can even install third-party apps from the Play Store. But I honestly didn't even have to go to any third-party apps because the watch faces that they've included are just amazing. Look at this watch face that I'm using right here. This looks absolutely insane. I changed the numbers for these Roman numerals. It's got this spinning dial in there. I don't know what it does, but it looks amazing. If this was an analog watch, I would say that this looks like a really expensive watch. So absolutely love these watch faces. And they've actually added a new watch face on here, which is the video watch face. So if you want, you can even add a video to play on your watch face. So again, if you have a video of your kids or your dog or just maybe a happy moment in your life, you can put it on your watch and then just watch that video. You can even have it loop so it keeps playing. Now let me take you through the internals of this watch because this is where things get really interesting, because what OnePlus has done here is solved a problem that, in my opinion, has been plaguing Wear OS watches for the longest time, and that is bad battery life. And OnePlus has solved this by implementing a dual architecture chipset. And what that means is that they're pretty much running two chips in this watch. You get a Snapdragon W5 performance chip that runs all the Wear OS tasks and an upgraded BES 2800 efficiency chip for when the watch is running RTOS. So essentially what that means is anytime you're doing intensive tasks like running workouts, using apps, the GPS, or listening to music, it uses the Snapdragon W5 performance chip. But when you're using it for basic tasks like checking notifications, your background activity, having the always on display running, the RTOS operating system kicks in to save on battery life. And the best part is you as the user don't have to do anything. The watch makes the decision for you when to use the Snapdragon chip and when to use the efficiency chip. So you can just sit back and relax, use your watch, and you get the best of both worlds, efficiency and performance. One thing that I always notice with watches and small gadgets like this is that lagginess that you get when you're just navigating around the UI, when your chip just isn't powerful enough. When you're scrolling through things really quickly, it can be really laggy. Watch how insanely smooth this watch is. I'm gonna go to all of my apps and then I can use this crown and watch how smooth and quick it reacts to no matter what I'm doing. I can zoom in, zoom out, just guide around all of these apps, and no matter what you're doing on this watch, just going through your tiles, everything is so quick. You're not feeling any lag at all. There's no bugginess, no jumpiness, no lag. That Snapdragon chip really does its job here. All right, now let's talk battery, because this is what this watch is all about and where it beats out all the competition. On here, we get a 631 milliamp battery, which is capable of up to 120 hours of use. And that's not with power saving mode. That's just with the settings by default out of the box. You get up to 5 days of battery use, which is huge. For me, one of my biggest complaints with my Galaxy Watch is I can barely get more than a day and a half out of it, and I'm always having to charge it at night. And that means that I'm missing out on all of my sleep tracking analytics. I'm not really getting any of that data because I can't really wear this watch at night because I need it to charge. So this watch is definitely the answer to people with that problem. And here's the crazy part. If you do use this in power saving mode, you can get up to 16 days of battery life, which for a watch that does this much is absolutely insane. And as far as charging goes, you can go from 0 to 100% in about 80 minutes using their included fast charger. As far as fitness goes, I am somebody who uses these watches specifically for fitness. That's what I use my Galaxy Watch for, and I haven't had enough time with this watch to really dive into that too deeply, but you get over 100 sports modes with automatic detection for 6 workout modes. So if you go for a run or a walk, it will just automatically detect that, which is something I really like. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be a snow shoveling workout in here, which right now in Canada would be amazing because we're getting absolutely pummeled by snow. It's just been snowing nonstop. I literally can't even see my neighbors over the snow piles. It's absolutely insane, and I feel like I've been burning hella calories shoveling snow, but unfortunately there's no option for that in here. So OnePlus, maybe throw it in there. There's also a few new health features in here, like the 60-second health check-in, which looks at things like your heart rate, your blood oxygen levels, your sleep quality, your wrist temperature, and even your mental health, and offers a fast and convenient look at your overall health assessment. But keep in mind, this isn't exactly a medical device. It's meant more as a guide for how you're doing. So don't treat this as the end all be all of your health. Just use it as a guideline for how you're doing. Now, all said and done, in conclusion, the OnePlus Watch 3 definitely brings some amazing improvements over the Watch 2. OnePlus has really listened to their consumers and fixed some of those quirks and things that people didn't like about the Watch 2 and made those improvements on the Watch 3. And they've definitely solved the battery life issue that I think a lot of people have that's holding them back from getting a fitness tracker or a smartwatch, because they want health tracking, they want sleep tracking, but they aren't able to get that battery life that they want out of their watch. The OnePlus Watch 3 solves that problem. So if you're that kind of person who wants long battery life like me, this is definitely the watch for you. And we're getting all of that for a price of $329.99 US or $449.99 Canadian. Now, if there's a few things that I could ask for, it would be to maybe get an LTE version of this watch and maybe a different sizing option for people who don't want a large 47mm watch, but want something a little bit more small and subtle. But apart from that, there really isn't much to complain about. OnePlus has really come out guns blazing and delivered a great product. But there you go, guys. That's going to do it for this video on the OnePlus Watch 3. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.